It's time to soothe, groove, and move those hidden innuendos. Hello, and welcome to the program. Some people don't, so. But let me see, what is that? Is that red? Because I got red.
Yep, sangria.
Sangria. Is there any fruit in there?
In the wine.
It's wine. I think that's all that matters. Like, who cares about the fruit?
There we go. That's all that matters.
Yeah, leave that to like the pina coladas, right?
Absolutely.
But look at you. I mean, you look beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
But I wrote a toast for you. So raise your glass high, my dear. All right, my dear Melanie. It's so great to meet you and look forward to tonight. Here's to you finding that man who will hold your bathrobe when you get out of the shower, and to the next man picking up your crown when you feel at your lowest. Cheers to you. But I'm going to ask you this question here. Do women love themselves during sex?
Do a lot of them? No. Should they all? Yes. Do I? Absolutely. Because I love me all the time.
Why can't women feel the same way as you? I don't understand that.
Because unfortunately, a lot of women, including myself, was taught that I wasn't enough. I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't skinny enough. I was too fat. I was too loud. I was too this, whatever the situation may be. It was too much, or I just wasn't what I was supposed to be. And I've had to learn on how to love me and every inch of me. I'm very, very fortunate for my husband that had passed away that had taught me on how to do that.
Yeah, and I'm very sorry to hear that, by the way. When you told me that, my heart goes out to you.
It was tough.
Sure. And when you say like you're not enough, like in the bedroom, do men kind of like portray this type of aura to you? Like, God, I wish you were skinnier. Or, God, I wish you had blonde hair. Or I wish you wouldn't be as loud, like you mentioned. Do you feel that? Because when it comes to me, when I'm making love, and I say make love, I'm not saying fuck, because, I kind of like to say make love.
You could do both at the same exact time, and
that's
it just
true.
Depends on the moment, and that's the best part about it, is that it's supposed to flow and ebb, and it's just, you're just supposed to just take it as the moment comes.
Yeah. But when I'm in the bedroom, I'll just say that way. When I'm in the bedroom, when I'm being intimate with a woman, for me, my thought is, I'm hoping to God this feels amazing for her. I want this to feel good for her. I want to keep making it feel good for her. I don't want to stop making it not feel good for her. Like, for me, it's the drive. It's to make sure that she is really aware that the orgasm for her is coming. And it's going to happen multiple times. Like, I think that as a man, it's fulfillment. It's fulfilling prophecy for us to know that we have actually accomplished the orgasm for females and not for us, right? Like, I like to be very, very unselfish when it comes to the bedroom. But when you mention all that stuff, do you feel that way when you're with a man? Do you feel that way? Like, God, like, I just hope that he doesn't think that I'm too loud or I'm too big or, too obnoxious or whatever it is.
Before I went through my healing journey, yes, absolutely. I was very insecure. I always felt that I was just, because I am a size 13. So I'm not the typical, quote unquote, typical beautiful. I'm my own version of beautiful. And that's all that matters to me. But because I'm not tiny, and I do have curves, and I have a lot of curves, and we are women, we're supposed to be soft and curvaceous and just love our bodies.
Yeah.
But before the healing journey, I was extremely insecure. And, but then going through the healing journey, and I had to learn on how to love myself, because when I had learned to love myself, I got to teach other women on how to love themselves as well. And the more that I was able to help others, is the more that I'm able to help myself and realize my own beauty and my own acceptance. And through that journey, I have gotten to the point where I'm just like, you are welcome that I look like this.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? Was it like back in like the early 2000s when the voluptuous model started to roll out? Like, I forgot her name, Ashley Graham, like those types of voluptuous women that started to come out, and they're like, wow, like being bigger than the average model is sexy. and that actually it took off, right? Like I don't know if is it still going on because I don't pay attention to what's going on in today's fashion society, but like
Um,
I'm sure it does, right? Or is it kind of blended in?
Yes and no. I mean, it's really completely up to the individual to their journey on what they compare themselves to and to their history. So it's not necessarily just what's currently just out in general, but it's more of like I've always fluctuated in my weight, and so when I was much younger, I was always taught that I was always bullied. I was fat. I wasn't pretty. I was brought up in the crackhead chic thin or the magazines. So that still very, very holds true to my heart when I look in the mirror again before the healing journey. And now I have learned to accept. I do want to be healthy, and that is very, very important. But I am a mom. I do have a mom bod. I have stretch marks. I have cellulite. I am a woman, and I'm not going to apologize for any of it. I think for a lot of women, it just comes down to that insecurity but once somebody is able to truly love themselves and love every single inch and stretch mark and cellulite and imperfection and scar, it's you carry yourself different. When you carry yourself different, people treat you different because you're treating yourself.
Yeah, and all that stuff doesn't matter. Like when you fall in love with someone, like you don't care about any of that shit, or you shouldn't, right? Because it should be secondary. Like I don't care about scars or cellulite or any of that stuff. Like I love you for you.
That is very, very true. But for my journey, so I was married for almost 10 years. My husband had died at 46. I was a 39-year-old widow, unexpected, and it was devastating. So having to go back into the dating field and having men in my life that were porn addicted and who were looking at women who didn't look like me, and that really, really had hit my ego hard would be a severe understatement.
What were they looking for? As far as if they're not looking for you, were they looking for like what, like skinny size 0 women who are like twigs?
That's what was on the that's what was on the search bar.
So did you catch him in the act? Was this your husband or was this someone else?
No. This was somebody else. No, my husband that had passed away. We had an amazing marriage. We had a wonderful marriage. Now, don't get me wrong. We were married. We had our ups. We definitely had our downs. I definitely had my breaking points more than once or twice. But we worked it out. So we figured it out. But no, it was definitely other men after that. Where it was tough. It's been very, very tough.
What do you think it was though? Because if they're with you, right? Because if they see the whole package, right? You got, and again, I don't mean to be vulgar, but I kind of have to be. The boobs, the ass. You got that voluptuous figure, right? That a lot of women wish they had. I love my body. What's that?
I said, you're not wrong. I love my body.
Yeah. But if a guy's with you, obviously he's got some type of infatuation, or he's got like this type of like love for you, right? This lust for you because he's with you, right? And then he starts to venture off into another realm of skinnier women. Like for me, it's like, what does that mean though? Like, is he just doing it because you're not giving him enough, or is it because he's trying to add a little bit of that raunchiness into the mix with you to see maybe it would be kind of kinky for us to bring like a different type of woman, a different type of figure into the dating world, or actually into the bedroom.
I mean, that was also done too. So it's not, so exactly what the reason is for men, I can't answer that question.
Yeah.
But my joke, well, my joke always is that I have a pretty smile, a big ass, and a great personality. So
damn right.
I'm not the typical woman. I love taking up space. I love walking into a room and holding my shoulders back and bringing attention, because I want to bring attention to others. I want everybody else, especially women. If you identify with your feminine energy, to me, you're beautiful. Yeah. So why men have treated me the way that they have, I can't explain it.
Yeah. Do you think it's also the women who are like those plus the size 0, those models who are not as actually very, very skinny. They wish that they could eat like a lot, but they can't because they don't get paid to, right? If the moment that they start to gain an ounce, they lose a couple grand and they lose some Instagram followers. So do you think it's more pretty much the whole entire type of women who are going through this problem and not just the bigger women?
It's every single woman across the board.
Yeah.
I have the most amazing, beautiful, and I'm talking like model type women, actual models in my life, and I did do some modeling as well, but plus size boudoir. So, but like the typical model, like the typical beautiful, and the self-esteem was so incredibly low, and I was just like, oh no, sweetheart, you love yourself. Like we love ourselves, and it's every single woman. It's any. And I'm pretty sure that it's men as well. But again, I'm a woman, so I'm only going to speak for myself individually and for the other women that I have spoken to about this. It hits us all. It hits us all so incredibly much. Of okay, well, if we see this, that's too much. If this is this, it's too much. And I had fit, and once I had lost my husband, and I started to come into the person that I am today, because I was lost without him. I need to figure out who I was without him.
Sure.
I call it fuck it 40s. I don't care what somebody thinks of me. I really don't. So I have my tattoos. I have my nose pierced. I normally have purple hair. I have obviously short hair. I dress the way that I want to.
You know what I mean? Like, there's like certain people that when you see with the tattoo, like, oh man, you should not have gotten that tattoo, or like you should not have cut your hair. But like, what you just told me and the way you look, I mean, this is like a beautiful picture of you. You know what I mean? Like, this is you. This is Melanie.
Mm-hmm.
So take it.
And this is what I want for everybody. Exactly. Fuck it 40s. I don't care. I wear hoop earrings. I wear mini skirts. I'm 46. I don't care. I don't fall into the categories. I fall into me and whatever that I find beautiful, because when we as individuals, when we feel beautiful, then we carry ourselves different, and people treat us differently when we carry ourselves, when we love ourselves.
For sure.
At least that's what I have noticed.
I hope a lot of people do that, but I see that because I live in the vainest part of all the world, right? Where people walk in and they expect there to be red carpets and flowers thrown at their feet and drum rolls. Seriously, like people walk in expecting everyone to be looking at them. I'm not that kind of guy. Like I hate when people say, let's go people watch. Like, I don't want to watch people. Why? I don't want to give them that satisfaction. I want to go watch the sunset. I want to go watch football or whatever it is. I don't want to watch people because people know that we're watching them. So what satisfaction does that give me? Nothing. It gives me fucking absolutely zero. But like, I just don't give these types of women any time of day, because they know that they want men like me or any man to be staring at them or taking a picture of them or following them on Instagram. I don't know. Do you have online dating, or do you have like a Bumble or Tinder? Or...
I did. I am extremely fortunate now that I'm in a committed relationship, and he's wonderful.
Right on. Good for you.
So, yeah. So he's amazing. So he's still relatively new. But we were actively friends in each other's lives for a genuine year and a half, and he's seen me through all my through me calling and me texting of just like, oh my god, you won't believe the date that I just had last night.
That's amazing. So he was listening to your dating flaws, and then out of nowhere you guys became from friends to lovers, or was it just something where you guys started to slowly bring that in together?
It was very slowly. He's still going through his divorce process, so he's already filed. And it's still like we're waiting for the divorce for that final piece of the relationship.
That'll happen. Yeah, that I hate when people say that, like, oh nope, I'm not going to see this guy or not going to hang out with this girl because the divorce is not final. It's not up to them. It's the fucking court. It's everything else but them. So like, be patient with them.
Exactly.
Everyone gets so uptight with that shit.
Yes, and I'm very, very fortunate. So we have, neither one of us. It's after I had lost my husband. I had got married to a friend, great friend, shitty husband. it is what it is.
Yeah. Shit happens, right?
Yeah. I was lost without my husband. And I just clung on to a friend, and it was a rebound. But I'm very, very fortunate, and I'm extremely thankful for that relationship and for that marriage. He gave me a family. And so I don't regret anything. I really don't.
Right. Yeah, that's good for you. Men don't like to talk about it. Men just want to have it. Mm-hmm. And I think women need to talk about it more, so that way men know exactly that it's not all that women want, right? Yes, you'll get your cake. You'll get it. But you just have to do certain things in order for you to get the cake. And I mean that by the vagina, just so you know.
Yeah, I understand where you're going.
Just so you know, it's cake. I don't know, for some reason, I hate saying pussy or vagina. It just sounds so weird when I say it on my podcast. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do you. Okay.
You do you.
You do you, boo. You do you.
We'll just call it the magic. We'll call it the magic.
There you go. The magic. Exactly. It was... I mean, it was so difficult in the dating world. Because I think, at least for me, and I'm only going to speak for myself.
Yeah.
I think a lot of men misunderstood me because I can, and this is going to be straight up and very honest, I can fuck like a dude. I cannot have feelings to the situation. I can be very passionate and it's wonderful and it's amazing, and hold me, cuddle me, and it's wonderful. We can share that moment in just two people. And then it could be absolutely nothing after. And I'm okay with that. But I think with a lot of men that they misunderstood that I can actually do that. Because I know from a lot of women, they can't do that. And that's okay. Every woman is individual, and they have to be able to learn on who they are, what they want, what they accept, what they don't, and be able to hold to those standards.
See, I'm starting to wonder if not all, but most women now in today's dating world are fucking like dudes because of that reason. Because, like, you know what? I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to be in this friendship. I just want to get laid. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's just what women are doing now, because I hear that a lot. I'm hearing, it's mostly the older women too. They tell me that they go on dates and they know that there's no second date. So what do? They have sex. They have sex in the parking lot. And I'm like, you know what? I got my fill. Yeah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong about that. That's hey, you do you. If that's what you want to do, fucking do it. But then again, I'm like, well, shit. Us guys want to be on bad dates too. So like, sign me up. Like, I want to be on these first bad dates. Like, what the fuck? It's kind of like free sex almost. You know what I mean?
But it's not only a bad date. It's the whole point to be able to understand and have that open and honest communication. Like I said, at least for me, the experience that I had come across is that men very much misunderstood that I can have sex with no attachment. However, the way that I was acting and in the moment, they perceived it as something completely different. Would it be nice if there was something longer down the line? Yes, wonderful. Of course, that's the reason why that I would date was to be able to see if I could have a future with somebody. And of course, that was my end goal, and at least for me personally. But there were certain points in time in my life where I was just like, nope. Your Thursday, your Saturday, your Tuesday. Have a great day.
So you're telling me that you can have sex with a guy and have zero emotions? Zero.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, there has to be obviously chemistry,
right?
And it was always, and at least like them on a friendship level. If I did not like them as a human being, I didn't care how attractive that they were. It did not matter. So I had to at least have that basic connection with another human being. But beyond that, wasn't really much of a book.
God bless you, man. We need more Melanies.
But I mean, I also, the joke is that, so it was my husband that had passed away. He died of a heart attack and he had a seizure in bed. So my joke is that my vagina killed my husband because we had sex. right before he died.
Oh my gosh, the power of the magic, the power of the V. It is a power. It's like, seriously, it is a powerful source when you think about it. I mean, there's so much that when you look at that, you're like, man, there's so much opportunity here. There's so many things that can happen in life. Like, obviously, life is produced. The feeling of like getting another one off, the feeling of like going inside something is like, it's kind of like a cool party when you think about it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You just gotta be invited. You just gotta be the cool guy in town. Don't be an ass.
And that's the whole point, is to be able to get to that comfort level with another person. Because when you feel, the most important thing that I tell my friends, that I love telling women, is that feel comfortable with yourself, love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, nobody else can love you. It's just the way that it is. And you shouldn't depend on somebody else's love and acceptance of you to be able to get to that point. Now, keep in mind, I was that person. My husband that died did teach me that. So after he had passed away, I needed to learn to love myself, not only for myself, but enough for the both of us.
Yeah.
And it was traumatic, and it was heartbreaking, and it was wrenching, and it was everything that you can imagine. But my friends and my family built me back to who I am.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's switch gears here, because I know when you said that your husband passed away, and you said that you were blindsided, you had no idea this was going to happen.
No idea.
Yeah, like when that happened, like when you were watching them put him 6 feet under, was he buried or was he cremated?
I had him buried. Even though that he had died in our bed, and when the coroners came for him, they asked me if I wanted to see him. I said, no, absolutely not. I had a funeral for he was a third-degree burn victim when he was 18, so I refused to do that again to him, so I refused cremation.
Sure.
So I had burial, and I wanted our children, my son that he had, without the paperwork, had adopted, and my bonus babies, his children, and most importantly, his mom. I wanted his mom to be able to say goodbye to her oldest son.
Yeah. Do you remember the last moment you had, the last thing that you remember that you did with him that made you smile?
He died in a home that we built together that was filled with nothing but love and admiration for him. And I was the last voice that he had heard. So I'm extremely, extremely fortunate the way that he had passed. And then I got to see it, and I got to have that closure.
I love that. I love that for you. See, I always make a joke that I tell people I'm going to die when I'm 109 with a margarita in my hand on the beach with my 24-year-old girlfriend.
Nice. You do, yeah.
Probably won't happen. I mean, it's far-fetched, but yeah.
Again, I'm pretty sure that my husband wasn't expecting to die after sex. So, hey, like, that's, you never know.
Yeah. I sure as hell don't want to. Yeah. But there were some times, I'm not going to lie to you, there were some times when I'd be in the bedroom, I'm like, shit, I'm blacking out. Like, because I was going way too fast, faster than I could even, control myself. And I was like, oh shit, you gotta slow down, man. You're gonna pass out. So the last thing I want to do is pass out on a girl. But seriously, I really felt like I felt myself like blacking out, and I just had to stop. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, just give me like 2 minutes here. Because my heart was pounding. It literally was gonna just fly out of my chest. Yeah. So I had to take a little breath, because
I get it. I had an orgasm, and I had 3 different types of orgasms at one time, and I genuinely had felt like this warm sensation going up my neck, and I was just like, oh, I'm a nurse, so I was just like, oh, okay, all right, great. So that's spinal fluid going up to my brain. Oh, okay, great. I'm gonna die. This is a good way to go out. And I didn't stop.
It's like I could see the corners. What do you got for me, Tom? Yeah, lady just masturbated the shit out of her pussy. So, I mean, I'm sure they've probably seen that before, right? Or vibrator, must have got the best of her or something. Yeah,
could be worse.
Could be worse.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like, I would have felt bad for him because because the guy that was with me that was doing it, like, good for him. You know what I'm saying? But thank God I didn't die, so we don't have to worry about it. Thank
God. But again, like I'm all for it. I think a lot of men should embrace it and be proud. If you do have, that age range where you need it, take it. There's nothing wrong with it.
And absolutely. Because I know as a woman, and even though and how confident that I am, I have been with men who have had ED, and that hits to the core of your being, especially as a woman. Just okay, I'm not enough. I'm too big. I'm too this. I'm too that. I'm not this. I'm not that. So for men, of course, not only is it a physical aspect, but it could also be a psychological aspect as well. And then for women, it's, it is that psychological, and then, you just kind of just spiral down. So, but it's so important for the man that when they get to the ED, they don't have Viagra, and it's, and they're still having complications, making it all about the woman. No, absolutely not. No, you are not to touch me. This is completely about you. And that's the problem with some men that I have been with, that they have made it about themselves. And, like kind of on how the joke is just like, oh, what'd that mouth do? I'm just like, sweetheart, it does a lot. Don't worry about it. Like, this, like, calm down. But it's amazing on how some men can be very selfish and bad. And then other men are have been 110% about me. And have given me that experience, and I'm very fortunate for all of it.
When I am having foreplay with a woman, I want to do it for as long as I can, just to make sure that it's fun. And again, I know that you want to get down to business, but like we'll get down to there eventually. Like there's no rush. Exactly. Like what's the time frame do you think is adequate for women? Because I say 20 minutes is good to have a good amount of foreplay. What about you?
There is no time frame.
There is, though. Women, they're like, I don't want to have much foreplay. I want to get down to business.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. And then that's the whole thing of that when you start to be with somebody, it is learning of what satisfies them and what time frame. Like I love kissing, and I can literally kiss for hours on end and that's what it is, is that I think people severely underestimate foreplay and how foreplay occurs even during the day, of just a simple text in the morning of, hey, sexy, I can't wait to see you tonight, or just sending just a cleavage shot or a side shot, and, and just having that build up all throughout the day, and just that, the innuendos or just like, oh, can't wait till I can feel you touch me again. It's that build up to it. So everybody's foreplay is different.
Sure.
So then that's the importance of learning to be able to communicate what that you need, and to make sure that your partner matches with that as well.
Yeah. And I always, for those women that I am with and they don't do it correctly, I let them know. I try to say, don't do this, do this. And again, I try to be as respectful as I can, because I'm saying, you're doing everything fine. I mean, you look great. You look sexy. It's perfect. Just do this a little bit, or squeeze a little bit more, or, less or more tongue, less teeth. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, let them know that whatever they're doing, trying to change it around so that way it can satisfy you 110%. Same with me. Like if I'm giving a woman pleasure, like I want her to tell me, do you like this? Do you like that? Do you not like that? Because I think sex is coachable, and you shouldn't take any offense to it.
And absolutely, because every person is different, and especially for women, our bodies are, sometimes are it's not just the clitoris.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's just a little bit to the side. It's a little bit softer. So it really is to be able to, and it's not necessarily teachable just at the beginning. It's teachable all throughout time, because there are some times where I need it harder. I need it softer. And it's really about listening to the other person within the moment. So it's not necessarily, yes, sometimes you should have the conversation ahead of time. One partner that I was with, if I would have known what he was into, no, thank you. I would not have agreed to that.
Oh, really?
It was extremely humiliating, and it was a horrific moment in time in my life, but that's obviously something that he had needed. So he was probably working through his trauma. I don't have to care why you treat me that way. I just have to care that you treated me that way and you didn't ask for my consent. And I wasn't in the safe space to be able to say no. But I absolutely accept my responsibility in the situation where I should have stopped it, but I didn't. I just hope that it was just done very quickly. And so from that experience, I had learned to be able to have the conversation ahead of time. But it has been amazing that through the dating process of having the most basic conversation, I didn't even think that I had to have some of these conversations. It's insane.
I'm so sorry that happened to you, because that's a violation. That really is. That is bullshit for any man to do that, especially when you don't have consent, and especially when you're unaware of it. Like, I feel like a lot of these men do that. They get away with it, and that's just wrong. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. That's not right. That's not how all men are. That's actually how more than half men, we don't do that shit. So I am truly sorry that you had to go through that.
Thank you. And thank you again. But here's my thing is that I am extremely fortunate that it had happened to me, because I am a strong woman. I have been through so much in my life. Me being assaulted in that way was a drop in the bucket to me.
Yeah, but why do you say that though? Why do you say that you're fortunate that happened to you? And I know you said you're a strong woman, but strong or weak, that should not happen to any woman.
You're right. You're right. It should not have happened. And the reason why that I'm saying that I'm fortunate that it had happened to me, because he and we had a discussion after it.
Yeah.
So I had let the weekend pass. I was traveling out of state to see him. And then when I had gotten home, I was safe. And he's just like, hey, I miss you. I can't wait to see you again. I was just like, what is wrong with you? I don't care how much money that you have. Like, you probably have never been told no in your life because some women are just, a lot of people are bowing down to you because of the company that you own and the money that you have.
Right.
I'm not that one. And I said, and it was extremely inappropriate. And I very much had put him back into his place.
Sure.
And he said, my God, I never realized what I had done.
Do you feel like it's more the men who have those high power jobs, the ones who make millions of dollars a year, who have pretty much no stress besides the stress of making more millions of dollars, like those really, really high VIPs, executive men, who are the ones who are by far the craziest, like they have the most bizarre fetishes? Do you feel like it's those types of men who are kind of putting blue collar men in a really bad spotlight?
So from my personal experience, my the one that I was in a relationship for off and on for 9 months, and I use the word relationship very loosely when I talk about him. But we were very much in a relationship. He was my partner. He wanted me to date others, and he was very high in his field of choice, highly educated, and spoke multiple languages, so on and so forth. He was very different from the other person that I was with. Everybody's a little bit different. And I think from what I have seen of that, some men need dominance, and that's okay, whatever, because some men aren't told no in their daily lives. You're not used to a strong woman saying, excuse me, I said no, thank you. Mm-hmm. You will not speak to me that way.
Yeah.
And I can do it with a smile on my face. They're not used to that. They're not used to a woman holding their ground and being told no. So
but I think regardless of the class, regardless of your income, whatever it is, like I think beginning, end of the day, the men should still respect women the way they did back in the 20s and the 30s. By tipping their hat or opening the door for women. Be chivalrous, be respectful. And then in the bedroom, if your woman wants you to do some really good things to her, like, with kinky or nasty, whatever it is, you abide by her. But you do not put her in that corner and tell her that this is how it has to be. Because I think that's just fucking bullshit. I don't think any man has the right to do that.
Correct. And I think where a lot of, at least for me in my personal life, than what I had seen was that a lot of men had forgotten that be the person that you want your daughter to date.
Yeah. Right.
Be the person that you want your mom to date.
Right.
So if you are not that person that you want your loved one to be with, then maybe you might want to reevaluate your situation.
Yeah. Because women are the best. They're the greatest, beautiful things on this planet. And I fucking cherish them. I cherish every woman. I cherish you, by the way. I can't tell you, seriously, like how much I really am so blessed that you took a chance on me, being with me tonight. I mean, you're such an amazing person, Melanie. I really am so blessed. You have no idea how blessed I am.
Thank you. I really, truly appreciate you saying that, because I have learned to love myself, love my time.
Yeah.
And I am extremely picky about who I spend my time with. So, and I would tell everybody that I was dating. So, because I was just like, listen, I'm just like, I'd rather go stare at a wall.
Right,
if I don't find you valuable,
yeah.
and, if I'm not getting something, if it's not reciprocal, then absolutely, then thank you so much for having these conversations with me. And I'm very, very much
Is there anything, again, I'm not sure there's anything I can do, but is there anything I can do, anything that we can voice out to women and men right now on this podcast?
I would definitely say for the women is to love yourselves. Absolutely stare at yourselves. Love every single inch and flaw, because everything that my husband that had passed away used to tell me that I was imperfectly, perfectly me. And he goes, it is because he would tell me, he goes, it's because of your imperfections makes you perfect for me. And I was so blessed, and I'm so wonderful, and and I have found another partner, to be able to understand that my imperfections make me perfectly me.
What was your husband's
name? Be able
name?
to just my husband that had passed away, his name was Alberto, but friends and family we called him Berto.
All right, well, here's to Berto.
Here's to Berto. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Of course. And just so you know, if people can't see Melanie's face, she's got probably one of the most beautiful smiles you will ever see in your whole entire life. Seriously, I'm not just saying that, because every time you do smile, the screen actually lights up. I don't know if you noticed that. It really does. So maybe Berto's adding a little bit of light to this video. See, there it is right there. That's amazing. Seriously.
Thank
but
you.
If it doesn't, let me just say this though. If it doesn't work out with the guy you're with right now, I want you to come back on. Let's find these great men, because I see not only a new friend, but I see someone amazing who these guys in Tampa Bay or wherever it is that you find these guys, they need to really appreciate who they're with, because you seem like an amazing person. You got a great heart. I can see your heart from miles away. It's fucking just lighting up right now. Seriously.
Thank you.
This is beautiful. Don't ever change you, girl. So fucking blessed. Seriously. Thank you.
Thank you.
I owe you. I owe you.
Oh no, please. I was so fortunate when I had seen you on TikTok. And when the girls was talking about, just being just so sincere and it was beautiful.
Thank you.
It was absolutely beautiful.
Let's do this again. Can we please make this happen again later on down the road?
I would absolutely love that. I would feel honored to be able to do that.
The honor is all mine.
Truly been my pleasure.
Well, let me ask you my closeout question, my dear. Here, I don't even know why I'm looking at this. If there happens to be a song, and I probably already know the answer, but if there happens to be a song that helps you soothe or groove or move on your good or bad days, tell us what's the name of that song.
Oh, it's Pop That Pussy by Too Long Crew.
Oh my God, I love it.
And I drive a Kia Soul in a nice, quiet, gated community, and I will bang that shit out.
Oh my God. All right, so I have to know what's besides popping that pussy, what's the resemblance behind that song?
I don't care how mad that I am, especially when I'm having a super, super bad day and when people have just gotten right under my skin and I'm just so incredibly angry, especially after I lost my husband. I absolutely woke up and chose violence. I absolutely chose violence. So I was just like, okay, I'm just like, all right. And my husband used to make music for me all the time. And that was always one of my songs, was that he would literally text me and he'd call me and goes, babe, I'm so happy that you love your song, but I can hear you down the street and we live in a nice neighborhood. Like, so truly, thank you, Trevin, for really making this. I guess it was kind of a bucket list to be able to reach as many people as we can with this podcast, and be able to make people feel better and have women be empowered and love themselves and know that they're not alone no matter what they feel.
Absolutely. Whether it's like 1 or 100 or 1,000, like I had a good time with you. We talked about real shit that's going on, and
Me too.
yeah, love it, girl. I love it, girl.